So the thing is, I might be the minority here, and that's fine if I am, but I'm kind of happy that the series is now over. So, I finally finished Peaky Blinders. So basically, it took me a bit of time to watch Peaky Blinders Season 6 because I didn't watch it weekly with everyone else. Basically, over the past couple of days, I've been catching up on it because I'm now on my Easter break. I'm on my Easter break, so I've been catching up with the last season of Peaky Blinders. I watched the first episode when it came out, on the day it came out, but then I didn't watch the next 5 episodes of Season 6. But now I've completed Season 6 of Peaky Blinders. I literally just completed it about 10 minutes ago on my TV right there. Not that you guys can see that, but nevertheless, I just finished the end of Peaky Blinders. And I've got to admit, I liked it. I thought the ending actually was really good. And I think that Season 6 of Peaky Blinders is probably the best season since Season 2 in my opinion. Because I've got to admit, I don't love this show as much as some other people do. And if you love this show, that is so good. I'm jealous of you. I wish I loved this show as well. But I just got to admit, I like it. I like it quite a bit overall. But I just don't love it. And I think the reason I don't love it is just because I find it quite moody. And I don't really find any, identification with any of the characters. I don't really like the characters that much. But anyway, I'm going to get onto that a bit later in this video. But for now, I'm just going to quickly go over my opinion on the past 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders. The first season, I liked quite a bit. Same with the second season, I also liked that quite a lot. But then the third season just kind of lost me. And the same with the fourth season. I really took a dislike into the fourth season. I mean, I didn't think it was terrible. I really didn't get along with it. But in the fifth season, although it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, I really enjoyed the fifth season of Peaky Blinders. And I thought the sixth season made the show go out with a bang. No pun intended there, but I did. Honestly, the last season reminded me why I liked the show in the first place. I thought it was really well written, and I really liked it. And I'm not going to give a big in-depth review of the last season, because I don't feel I'm the sort of person to do that, because I didn't love the show as a whole. But overall, I thought the last season was good TV. I liked it for what it was. It had some really good twists in there, some really good turns, some excellent performances. And I think that's the point I want to make here. The reason I like this show, and the reason I've kept watching it for 6 seasons, is because of the performances. Even so I enjoyed Season 5 of Peaky Blinders, even so I enjoyed Season 5 of this show, I've got to admit, I finished it and went, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch Season 6. But then, when Season 6 was announced as the last series, and by the way, I do know spin-offs are in the works, I know there's a film in the works, I don't know if I'm going to watch the film, I don't know if I'm going to watch the spin-off, it depends on what the trailers look like for those sort of things. But the thing is, yeah, when Season 5 ended, I wasn't sure if I was going to watch Season 6 of this show. But then, when Season 6 was announced as the last season of Peaky Blinders, then I thought, okay, I'm going to watch it because I want to see how it ends. And I think the reason I watched the show, though, overall for 6 seasons, is because of the performances. I don't like the characters. I really don't. And I might be the minority here, but I'm not a big fan of the Thomas Shelby character. I don't really like him that much. I also just don't really like the name. I don't really like the whole name Thomas Shelby in general. But again, I'm in the minority there, and I'm fine about that. But the thing is, though, the reason I enjoy watching that character is not because I like the character, but it's because of Cillian Murphy's performance. And I think that says a lot about an actor when you don't like the character, or you don't really like the thing he's in. But in the case, I actually quite enjoy Peaky Blinders overall. But the thing is, though, I think it says a lot about an actor when you don't really like the character he plays, but you enjoy watching him because of the actor's performance. Honestly, I think Cillian Murphy is an incredible actor. And I don't think this is his best performance. I've got to admit, I don't think this is his best performance as Thomas Shelby. I feel he's better in films like Inception, and in films like Dunkirk, and another Christopher Nolan films, but at the same time, though, I think he's also better in A Quiet Place Part 2, and I can't wait to see him in Oppenheimer, what's that coming out in next year or something like that. But the thing is, though, yeah, I think Cillian Murphy is better in other roles because he gives more of a range. But in this show, he makes it for me. Honestly, especially in this last season, he's so incredible in this last season. And just the performance he gives made it fun to watch, in my opinion. Maybe not fun's the right word, but it made it interesting to watch. That's what I'm trying to say. It made it interesting, and for me, it kept me watching this show overall. You know, even Season 3 and 4, which I really wasn't the biggest fan of, you know, I still watch those seasons because of his performance, because of all the other performances as well. Another thing which actually makes this last season so good is the fact that they had to work around the death of the late, great Helen McCrory, which is obviously quite sad because she played such a pivotal and interesting character, an important character in the past, previous 5 seasons of this show. She played Aunt Paul, and that's such a good character. She was my favourite character in the show. I mean, actually, I don't know if she was my favourite character, but she was definitely one of my favourite characters. And I just thought Helen McCrory played her so well. And it was so sad when she passed away. But the thing is, though, they still made this last season great. And, she was starting to shoot her scenes for this last season. But then the thing is, though, COVID happened. And then, sadly, the actress passed away. Sadly, Helen McCrory passed away. So, basically, I think they had to rewrite so much of the show. But actually, it's completely unnoticeable. You wouldn't think it if you watched last season that they had to rewrite so much of it. But actually, it still turns out so well. And I do think Aunt Paul's presence is, felt in the season so much. And not only because she just appeared in flashbacks of this last season, but also because, I don't know, she's left her mark on this show, but just in the best way possible. And I think that Helen McCrory is an incredible actress, and it's so sad that she's passed away now. But, she was one of my favourite characters in the previous 5 seasons of the show. And if on the 6th season, they really did her farewell well in the first episode. And also her presence is felt throughout the whole last season and just in the best way possible. But yeah, I'm so impressed that the show is written as well as it is, considering that they probably had to rewrite so much of it because of the death of the late great Helen McCrory, which is obviously quite a sad and unfortunate thing. But in the end, the show turned out fantastically, and I think the last season particularly, the season 6 of Peaky Blinders, which I'm reviewing right now, is a fantastic farewell and a fantastic tribute to Helen McCrory as an actress and the Aunt Paul character which he played in this show so well. But also, the other performances are really good as well. Like, I really like the actress who plays Ada. I literally just looked up her name before I did this review, but I completely forgot it. But yeah, Ada is really good in this last season in particular, and I think she plays that character well. And, there's a couple of people I know who say that she's trying to do the Aunt Paul thing. She's trying to fill like the Aunt Paul shoes. I never felt that watching this last series, although I do see where people are coming from, but I just personally never felt that. But I think the actress also did a great job. But the thing is, though, I must admit, by the end of this last series, Peaky Blinders, by the end of season 6, I really didn't like the character of Arthur. I really didn't get along with that character. And that's nothing against the actor, Paul Anderson. I think Paul Anderson who plays him, I think he plays that character well. I really do. But at the same time, though, I didn't get along with that character. And I started to really take a dislike to him ever since season 5. He did some horrific things in season 5 of the show. And then you get to this season and he's doing more horrific things. And I didn't like that character at all by the end of the show. But heck, that's just me in the end. But I do think that Paul Anderson, who plays Arthur, does a fantastic job. And I think all the performances are fantastic as well. I think all the performances are so good in this last season. But for me, the thing that kept me watching to the end is Cillian Murphy as Thomas Shelby. Not the Thomas Shelby character, just Cillian Murphy performance. But also the fact that the show is fun to watch. It is fun to watch, it's got some great music in there. And it's really well made, it's really well shot and things like that. And although I don't quite think it's the amazing piece of TV that everyone else thinks it is, I still did like it. On to that topic, by the way, on to that topic of why I don't think it's quite the show everyone else thinks it is. I just think it's quite moody and quite stylish. Actually, in a similar way to Killing Eve, which is ending, sometime next week. I'll be getting around to doing my review of the last season of Killing Eve. But much like Killing Eve, I think this show is a bit overhyped and a bit overrated just because it's stylized and it's a bit moody. It's a bit, oh, look at this. Oh, we're doing things different. Because I must admit, I've seen so many storylines done in this show, just overall, so many other times in other shows. And then when I'm watching this show, I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I've seen it done before. And then here, I feel the reason this show gets so much love is because it's stylistic and it's a bit moody and it's a bit different than what people usually expect with other shows. But yeah, it's just, I've got to admit, the style isn't always for me, and I didn't always find it compelling TV. I enjoyed watching the show, particularly the first 2 seasons, and even so, I don't think the show quite reached the greatness of the first 2 seasons. I did like the last 2 seasons quite a lot overall, and I did like the last season as well, and I thought particularly the last episode was fantastic. I thought the last couple of episodes were really good as well. And yeah, I enjoyed the show overall. But even before, when I said, that the show never quite reached the greatness of the first 2 seasons, I never thought the first 2 seasons were anything special. I quite liked the first 2 seasons. I enjoyed watching them, mainly because of Sam Neill, because he used to play like that police officer in the first 2 seasons, and I loved him in the first 2 seasons of the show. But yeah, even the first 2 seasons I didn't think were anything particularly amazing. But at the same time, though, this show is good, and I'm happy that I watched it. But I've also got to admit, I don't think I would ever recommend it. But I'm happy that I watched it, and I do think that it is good TV, just not amazing TV overall. But you know what? Season 6, this last season of Peaky Blinders, went out of a bang, and so overall, I quite like this show. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Peaky Blinders as a whole, I'm going to say it's about 7.8 out of 10. I still think the show is overrated. I still think it's overhyped, much like Killing Eve, which I'll be reviewing sometime next week. You know, I still think this show is overrated and overhyped, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I don't quite get the hype over it. I think Cillian Murphy's the best thing about it. At the same time, though, one other performance I forgot to mention is Tom Hardy. I really like Tom Hardy as well, because he's different than he is in other films and TV shows, because when you watch him on screen, he's both funny, but at the same time, though, a bit weird to watch. I think Tom Hardy plays a character really well that he plays. But the thing is, though, I just don't find it that compelling. I watch the show, but because everyone else is talking about it, and even so I liked the last season, even so I really liked the first 2 seasons, and even so I enjoyed the 5th season as well, I don't know. It's not my sort of show, but I did still like it. I think that's the biggest compliment I can give it. It's not something which I would usually get along with, but I liked it. And another thing that I'm going to say just before I end this video is that another reason I might not like the show is because, you know, it's a gangster show. And personally for me, I just prefer gangster movies. And I know the movies I'm going to talk about, like Casino, Goodfellas, you know, The Godfather, it's not your typical gangster movie, but it's still pretty much a gangster movie. It's a gangster epic at that. And some of the gangster movies are better. Even some of the films I've just talked about aren't in the same time period as Peaky Blinders, you know, doesn't mean that the storylines aren't the same so much of the time. That's what it kind of feels like. And I got to admit, I think I'd much rather watch in a film format, directed by Martin Scorsese or directed by Francis Ford Coppola, than in a BBC format, where I think kind of moody, stylistic, and just not that compelling in my opinion. But overall, I liked Peaky Blinders. I thought overall that all 6 seasons were good, nothing brilliant, nothing particularly special, but heck, that's just me. If you love this show, and if you absolutely adored every single minute of it, I am so happy for you. I'm so jealous as well, because I wanted to, I really did, but overall, I think the first 2 seasons are great. I don't particularly like the 3rd and 4th seasons, although saying that though, I might have to go and revisit them one day because I wasn't always in the best of moods watching the 3rd and 4th season. But saying that though, I still remember quite a lot of the 3rd and 4th season of the show, and I just didn't like it that much overall. But I enjoyed the 5th season, I enjoyed it quite a bit, and overall, I think the show went out with a bang with the 6th and final season, which just finished about a week ago now. But yes, I thought the last season of Peaky Blinders was absolutely fantastic, and that's kind of why I'm going to say that Peaky Blinders overall is good. I like it, but I just don't love it. But you know what? I'm happy that I watched it, and that's all I've got to say about Peaky Blinders overall. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Peaky Blinders, I'm going to say that all 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders are 7.8 out of 10 for me. Anyway guys, what do you think of all 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders? Please do comment down below and know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more, both film and TVs, come very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, bye bye for now, bye!